Hello my loves and welcome back to the channel. Today I wanted to discuss people pleasing and how it actually can be a form of manipulation. It can also cause more chaos in one's life than necessary. People pleasing is really a way of saying, I am going to put your boundaries before my own so I can make you happy, because that's my first priority. I understand how people pleasing comes about. I've been there. I've people pleased so hard that I was actually forming fake connections off of people pleasing tendencies. And I'm sure some of you do this as well, whether you're intentionally doing it or just subconsciously doing it because maybe that's what you were taught as a kid, that everyone around you needs to be happy with you all the time. You need to just give. People's needs are more important than your own. Whatever limited beliefs or fake beliefs you have behind people pleasing, it's completely valid. And we're not gonna start invalidating anybody or their reasons behind people pleasing. Okay. The first thing I want to talk about is people pleasing with family members. Growing up, I felt like my needs were put last, partially because I was putting them last. I was taught to keep the peace, whether that was by just being quiet and accepting everything for what it was, whether that was to change my beliefs in order to agree, whether it was to take a different path because maybe someone else wanted me to go in a different direction, and instead of standing my ground and having boundaries, it was just easier for me to just do what I thought my family members wanted me to do because it seemed to keep the peace and that life wasn't so chaotic for me. The problem with that was, as I got older and I started to realize what I was doing, I realized that I was not only stunting my own growth, but I was living a life that wasn't even authentically mine. I had gotten to this pattern of do for everyone else, do what everyone else wants me to do, that I didn't even feel like myself. I didn't even know who I was. My life was a little bit of this person, a little bit of that person, a little bit of this person, but it wasn't my life. I wasn't the one who was living it for me. I was living it for everybody else. And over time, it was exhausting. Not only was I stunting my growth, but I wasn't able to take up space. I was anxious, very anxious, and that led me into relationships where I continued those patterns. If I do what he wants me to do, then there will be peace. If I say what he wants me to say, there will be peace. If I believe what he wants me to believe, there will be peace. By doing this, I ended up in relationships where I was being manipulated, controlled, and it felt so normal for me. It was my normal. Being anxious was normal. Keeping the peace looked like doing, saying, believing everything that my partner wanted me to, because it was easier for me to mend into this person than stand my ground and say, no, I don't believe that. That's not a belief of mine. No, I don't want to do that because that's not what I want to do. People pleasing backfires 10 out of 10 times. Whether it's years down the road, minutes from after the people pleasing takes place, it always backfires. And here's why. By doing what you think other people want you to do is actually going against your own intuition. We cannot thrive as our authentic selves if we're doing things that we don't believe we should be doing in the first place. I'll give you an example. When I was in my 20s, my dad told me that I should just be a realtor. He felt like I would be really good at it. I could potentially make the big bucks. I could sell. That was his belief. For me, I was lost. I was used to receiving orders and playing them out. It was easier for me. I didn't know how to say no. That's not even what I want. So what did I do? I signed up for real estate school and I went through the motions. From the beginning of me signing up, deep down, I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to be in the classes. I didn't care to learn the material. It didn't interest me. It didn't intrigue me. But I was such a people pleaser that I stayed with it. And I completed my real estate courses. I studied for the exam. And I went and I took the exam. And I passed. And I remember thinking to myself, I don't even know how I made this happen. Through and through, this is just not my cup of tea. Maybe this is my calling. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I didn't even study that hard. All I did was take the practice tests over and over and over and over again that the school that I went to, they had practice exams, and that's all I did. And I passed, and I was in amazement. I was proud of myself, but I truly had no idea how I made it happen. Mainly because it wasn't my dream. It wasn't my goal. It was my dad's goal for me. And so I did what I had to do to make it happen. After I passed my exam, I remember calling my father and with excitement. Oh my gosh, I passed. I can't even believe I passed. And I remember feeling like the excitement coming from his end wasn't very genuine. I remember thinking, wow, I did exactly what he asked. I did exactly what he wanted me to do, and somehow I still don't feel good enough. This milestone that I just passed, this exam that I think it's only 65% of people who passed the Texas real estate exam. I remember Google searching it because I thought, what are the odds? And I remember feeling not good enough. What else does he want from me? What am I missing? I was such a people pleaser. It was constant. I need validation from everybody else. I need the external validation because I didn't and couldn't validate myself. So I went on and I joined a brokerage. I had a couple clients and I just felt like an imposter. I remember going into the office and hearing all the other realtors talk and thinking, I don't belong here. This isn't for me. This isn't me. But I kept going. I thought, well, passing the exam didn't give me the results of validation from my father that I wanted or expected. So it's time to start selling houses. Maybe if I just sell my first house, I'll get validation. I'll finally be good enough. The thing is I was never going to be good enough. And it took me stepping back and saying, I need to live my life for me. Not for my dad, not for my partner, not for my family, but for me. So I said, I'm not doing this anymore. And I stopped. People pleasing takes so much space in your life that it's really difficult when you're so in it to step back and see what's happening. So many of us are so used to seeking validation from others. We put their needs before ours. We put their wants before ours. Probably because we just want to be loved and accepted. We want to be good enough. The thing is, we will never be good enough for certain people. You cannot love someone harder into accepting you. You need to accept yourself. And with that, the people who naturally and unconditionally love you for you and your authentic self will start to come in. You'll attract those people. When we start new relationships, whether it's a friendship or a partnership, most of us think, oh, I hope this person likes me. I wonder if this person's going to accept me and like me and want to be around me. We subconsciously hold back being our authentic selves so we can feel connected to these human beings. Maybe we hold back on saying certain things we believe because deep down we know that once we confirm these beliefs that we have, this person may not be interested in us anymore. Their beliefs are different. So to feel accepted and connected, we hold back, we withdraw, we we go into it thinking, how can I get this person to like me? The thing we don't realize is that we're manipulating and controlling this connection. We're manipulating by being somebody else. This is the same tactic that narcissists use in the beginning of relationships. They love bomb you. That's not who they are. Prince Charming is just a facade. When you start a connection on a facade, it's a manipulation tactic, and it always backfires on one party, both parties, because we cannot control outcomes. People pleasing is a form of control. If I do this, I can keep this person in my life. If I act this way, if I believe this, then they'll accept me and they'll want more of me. It takes away our peace. Anybody who is meant to be in your life will be. You will not have to be anybody else for these people to accept you. Some people refer to this as your soul tribe. The people who meet you on a soul level that you just know you can be yourself. Your authentic, genuine self. And they come as they are, and you meet, and it feels like a sense of, I've known this person forever, on a soul level. Sometimes it takes years before we find our soul tribe. But I will tell you one thing. Being in peace and alone is going to benefit you way more than being connected and in chaos. This will stunt your growth every single time. This is why people please no more, babes, okay? Please yourself. What do you want? What makes you happy? What do you believe? As we get into adulthood, especially some of us who have grown up in households where we've been controlled and we haven't felt free to speak up on what we believe and what we actually think, and our questions have been dismissed and laughed at, and our ideas are discounted and stomped on and stupid. As we grow up, we need to make sure that we're checking our values and beliefs, not because that's what our family valued and believed, but because it's what we actually value and believe. And this can take years of work and really getting to the root of things. It's taken me stepping away and only holding space and energy for the people who respect my boundaries, respect my needs, want me to be happy and thrive because they unconditionally love me. It takes work, but it's worth it. And it's necessary for us as adults to regroup and say, oh, that was actually never my belief. I only did this because I watched my parent do this, and that's all I knew. Get your life back. If you've never had it, then get it for the first time. Get your life. Grab it and make it yours. Nobody has to live not even 1 second in your shoes. You are the only one who has you entirely. We come out the womb and we have ourselves. We die, we have ourselves. We live, we have connections, but guess what? At the end of the day, all you really have is you. Love that you. Be proud of that you. Know who that you is. And stop living for everybody else. Okay, so there's a few cards that I pulled that I felt like resonated with the topic today. The first one I chose is no. Wait, postpone, pause, say no. The reason I chose that one is because I think a lot of us, especially when we start new relationships, we go all in. We don't even think twice about doing things for this person because we love unconditionally and we want to make other people happy. But instead of doing so, next time somebody wants something from you, think to yourself, is this what I want? Do I want to give this? Do I want to give this energy, this side of myself to this other human? Do I want to participate? The second one, creating heaven on earth, it's happening. I felt like that one resonated with our reading and our topic because once we stop living for everybody else and we find out what we truly love and want out of this life, you will create heaven on earth. You will. The third one I chose, energetic upgrades, a new way of being, integration. I felt this one resonated with the topic because once you start living for you and you stop people pleasing, you will have energetic upgrades. The people who come into your life will be on a high vibration just as you are. And it'll feel natural. It'll feel beautiful. You won't have to put on a facade. You'll be your authentic self. It'll be a new way of being. You'll feel free. Okay, my loves, that is what I have today. I appreciate you tuning in so very much. This channel is still new. I do want to remind you to please like this video if you feel like you got anything out of this. If you think there's someone else who you love that may need to hear this in order to up-level their life, if you could please share it with them, make a difference in their world, their life, their energy. If you could subscribe to the channel, if you feel like moving forward, these things resonate with you and you want to hear more of what we have to say, I would appreciate that so very much. Again, thank you for being here, for taking the time to hang with me and upgrade your life. I just want to let you know that I love you. You're worthy. And when you shine as your authentic self, you find peace that you've never felt before. And other people around you are inspired to do the same. and that brings them peace as well. It's quite honestly a beautiful, beautiful thing. It's like a domino, it's a beautiful domino effect. I just want to remind you that I will be uploading at least one video a week for right now, and then the more people start to tune in, I will adjust accordingly. So again, thank you so much for being here. I love you. Stay blessed.